So now I suggest we move on to the second speaker of this webinar, and that is Mr. Pieter van Goor from CRV. Mr. van Goor will explain during his presentation that a 10% reduction of feed costs is possible with the right breeding strategy. Mr. van Goor, welcome, and we are looking forward to hear from you how breeding has a substantial impact on reducing the cost per liter, milk producing, and also the methane emissions.
Okay, Joost, thank you very much. In my presentation, I will talk about breeding for an animal that converts feed in an efficient way to milk. And the advantage of this is that the farmer not will only reduce his feed cost, but also the cows will have a lower carbon footprint per kilogram of milk. But before I start with my presentation, I will have a small poll for our viewers. Here on the slide you see 4 cows, 4 different cows, 4 heifers with a quite different feed efficiency. I will show you these 4 cows because when I'm talking about feed efficiency, then I hear many comments from farmers that they say, okay, when I'm breeding for an efficient cow, I will get a cow that I don't like in my barn because they think the cow will be too frail, don't have enough capacity, not enough depth, will get more milk fever or what else. But I will first give you a short description from those 4 cows, and then you have to make your choice. Which cow do you think is the most efficient cow? And when you look to cow 1, that's a stylish cow producing 38 kilograms fat and protein corrected milk. And when I'm talking about kilograms of milk, I always in my presentation talking about fat and protein corrected milk. That's the way that how we explain that. And that cow weighs 660 kilograms, is 1 meter 50 high. Looking to cow 2, she's a little bit smaller, producing 33 kilograms of milk, more muscular, and is 1 meter 45 height. Cow 3, a more smooth cow, producing almost 39 kilograms fat of protein corrected milk, also 1 meter 50 high and weighs 665 kilograms. Looking to cow 4, also a very stylish cow, I think, with a very good depth, producing 36 kilograms of milk, 1 meter 52 height and 665 kilograms of weight. Okay, then I will ask you now to make your choice for you or yourself. Which cow do you think is the most efficient? Okay, then I will give you the answer, and I will switch to the most efficient. And as you can see here, cow 1, that's the most efficient. She is eating 22.1 kilogram of dry matter. That's the same as cow 2, but she almost make 5 kilograms of milk more than cow 2. Cow 2, she is having a feed efficiency of 1.51, and cow 3 1.66, and the cow with the lowest efficiency is cow 4. She's having a nice production for a heifer, so 36 kilograms of milk, but she's eating almost 25 kilograms of dry matter to produce these 36 kilograms of milk. And the message of this small story is that you can't see it on the outside of the cow which cow is the most efficient. You have to measure it, and the feed intake, and then you will know. Measuring is knowing. Okay, then I will go further with my presentation. The importance of feed efficiency. Why is it important? Joost told it already, and Mike also. The feeding cost is almost 60% of the cost of milk production, and by breeding for feed efficiency, we can save, and I will show you that later on, an average from 10% of the feeding costs. And another positive impact is breeding of feed efficiency, that you will lower the greenhouse gas emissions from your cows per kilograms of milk. Here you see in this graph the correlation between feed efficiency and methane production. In this graph you see it on the left side, methane production per 100 kilograms of fat and protein corrected milk, and at the bottom you see feed efficiency. And as you can see, when the feed efficiency is increasing, the methane emissions are going down. So that's quite important to know. Another correlation what we see, not such a high correlation, but we still see that when you look to the live weight of a cow, and you look to our cows over the past 30 years, then you see that our cows have grown about 4 centimeters and are 50 kilograms heavier than at that time. And when we look to the trends in breeding, then you still see that our cows will grow bigger and will get more weight when we grow on the same way as we have done it in the last 30 years. Our Dutch cows are on average almost 660 kilograms and about 1 meter 50 tall. And what we see on our farms, that heavier cows need about 1 or 1.5 kilogram dry matter of feed per day extra per 100 kilogram of body weight. So a cow with a more body weight needs more feed just to keep her body in shape. And that's good to know. Then I will give you here an example of 4 cows. And we have measured this on one of our farms. There are 4 cows. They made 3 lactations and they all produced around 30,000 kilograms fat and protein corrected milk. And as you look to cow A, then you see that she was eating almost 27,000 kilograms of dry matter. And that means that she has a feed efficiency of 1.13. Looking to cow D, producing almost the same amount of kilograms of milk, then you see that she was eating 18,500 kilograms of dry matter. So she was eating 8,000 kilograms dry matter less than cow A, and making the same milk production. And then you see she's having feed efficiency for 1.65. And when you look to the profit per cow per euro, the farmer thinks, okay, I have 3 or 4 cows with 30,000 kilograms of milk. They probably will eat the same, but when you are measuring, you will see that it's quite different. Then that will mean that the farmer will earn about 1,700 euro per cow, for more from cow D than from cow A. And that's, you can say, almost 34% more profit compared to cow A. Where do we all get that information from? We started in 2017 by recording data on commercial dairy farms. We started at Alders Overloon, and later on we found 4 more farmers where we can measure. In total, they have a little bit more than 2,000 cows, and all this data we collect and we gather that for our research. On the other side, we will get from 5 research farms in Holland and Flanders. We also get data from feed intake, and that will mean that on year base we get information from 2,500 dairy cows. And at this moment we have already 8,700 cows with feed intake data. What are we measuring on those farms? Of course, feed intake, raw feed, concentrate, milk production daily, body weight 2 or 3 times daily, depending on how often they are milking. We are measuring water intake, health rates, claw health by DigiClaw, fertility by Overalert, and measuring also, we will start measuring methane emissions on some farms with the green feed and with sniffers. So as you see, we will get a lot of data daily from those farms. What did we find? First, we saw that there was a very big variation between cows. It was already told before. Those 5 farms are well-managed farms, and then you still see very big variation between the cows. On some farms, and you must think about that those farmers are producing between 11,000 and 12,000 kilograms of milk, because they are well-managed farms. And then you still see cows on those farms that have a feed efficiency from 1.1. So that will mean that from every kilogram of dry matter, she's making 1.1 kilogram of milk. But on the other hand, you see cows on that same farm that make twice as much milk than that low cow, making 2.2 kilograms of milk from 1 kilogram of dry matter. And then good to know that national average is around 1.46 for feed efficiency for the Dutch farms. What do we see more? And then especially on those 5 commercial farms. And then I have divided the 25% best cows and the 25% lower cows for feed efficiency. First, looking to the 25% best for feed efficiency. On average, they have a feed efficiency of 1.88. And as you can see, they produce 40.2 kilograms of milk from 22.6 kilograms of dry matter. Are you looking to the cows with the lowest feed efficiency? They have a feed efficiency of 1.38. Then you see they produce 10 kilograms of milk less than the best cows, and they are eating almost the same, a little bit more. This is the thing that we thought, that's for instance what I told before, that I was always thinking that cows that produce a lot of milk have to eat a lot. But as you can see, the most efficient cows do produce much more milk with the same amount of dry matter intake. And also when you look to the concentrates per kilograms of milk, and then you see that the cows with the best feed efficiency, they need around 220 grams of concentrates per kilograms of milk, and the cows with the lower feed efficiency, they need 10 or 20% more concentrate per kilogram of milk. To say it in words, again, what we saw on the slide, the 25% best cows for feed efficiency in the herd need a quarter less feed for the same amount of fat and protein corrected milk as the 25% lowest cows for feed efficiency. So that doesn't mean only lower feeding cost, but also less methane emission and less manure. What do we do with all those information, what we gather on those farms? We have used that to make a breeding value for feed efficiency. And looking to this slide, you see that a breeding value from 104 for feed efficiency will mean that the offspring from that bull will produce about 200 kilograms of milk extra with the same feed intake. And then when your average milk production on your farm when that it's about 10,000 kilograms of milk, and when you're using a bull with 104 for breeding value, that will mean that the offspring will make 10,200 kilograms of milk with the same amount of feed. When you are counting with 30 cents of the milk price, that will mean that you will earn about 60 euro per cow per lactation extra. And on the other hand, we also see that those cows will have a lower carbon footprint per kilogram of milk, and that's about 2% less methane emissions per kilogram of milk. And when you really want to select on feed efficiency, then I made here a list from some bulls from CRV. On average, feed efficiency from our bulls is around 104, but you also see that there are already many bulls with 106 or higher. The highest ones are 109, 108, and you also see that they are not only good for feed efficiency, but also for production, for longevity, for health, for fertility, for other health, and hoof health. What we also can show you, and we are quite proud of that, that is that we, on those farms where we are measuring feed intake, those farms are also using CRV bulls, and then you can see that we, for instance, from a bull, a young proven bull like Esperanto, we have already 66 daughters with feed intake. The 66 daughters of Esperanto were behind those feed bins. And that will mean that we have already a very good reliability for our breeding values for feed efficiency. And even you see Jupiler, also a quite young bull, he has already 132,000 of 132 daughters, and that will give him a reliability of 80% for the breeding value feed efficiency. Now that we have these reliable breeding values, and I have to say, for a young bull, the breeding value of the reliability from the young genomics bulls is already around 50%. But when you think that I'm now going to say, now you have to select just for feed efficiency, then I will say, no, you shouldn't do that. A farmer can make most profit not only when your cows are producing a lot of milk in an efficient way, so they should have a good feed efficiency, but they also have to stay long at the farm, make many lactations, and stay healthy for a long time, and that's the best way to achieve a high income, and therefore you would best use the index CRV efficiency.